So what we have here is a statuette sculpture of the Maiden Reaper. It's unfinished. There's different small details in the robe and the skeletal fingers, some different parts of the face. We're calling her the Maiden Reaper. It's a part of a collection that I'm in the process of creating, which is sort of this neoclassical Gothic representation of different figures of the nighttime mythologies, such as the Grim Reaper. There are different aspects of this Maiden Reaper that are unfinished. The Maiden Reaper is sculpted out of this Roma Plastilina, and this is the number 2 Roma Plastilina, which is kind of a medium texture. Very easy to sculpt with. So what's unfinished here? Like I said, some of the fingers, the skeletal finger work, the scythe part of the Reaper, some different parts of the robe, different elements of the underneath part of the arms and robe on the arm are unfinished. I leave a lot of these things until the very end. So what I'm going to show you here is this style or so of creating what I'm trying to call this crushed velvet look for the for this cloak. See, now the cloak doesn't extend down too far. It's just sort of it's a female cloak. She's the Maiden Reaper. And you leave elements uncompleted and left till the end because you're constantly touching the sculpture. You're constantly moving it. I took it off the armature and kind of installed it on this square flat base right here. See here, up close. The Maiden Reaper is about 12 inches tall to about the top of her head, and then about 13 inches tall with this blade here. Obviously, when we cast this, we're going to cast it without the scythe blade and without the staff pole there. And also what's unfinished here, which you can't see, but there's sort of the beginnings to it, is of this lantern that she's holding. And I'm going to also take you through the finished process with this statuette here. Start to finish on casting it as well in several different types of resins, including a cold cast. Let's look at this area. Right about here. Okay? See, I kind of did a little bit of it, and so what we're going to do is just kind of erase some of this. By the way, with just the Roma Plastilina, you got to just kind of like work with it a little bit to kind of soften it up. And so just kind of smooth it down a little bit with the smooth part of a little tool. And this is just a simple little plastic sculpting tool. So with this smaller one right here, we're gonna go in this little area here and kind of do these downward streaks, scores. And you can move with the way you want the fabric to go, and it's sort of like following this direction with it here, like this. And it's okay if these streaks overlap a little bit, because that's what you, in a way, want. Alright, and now we're going to kind of do this other cross hatch sort of streak, sort of scraping the little middle part of this tool across the Roma Plastilina. And do this a few times. Get this going here and get it kind of messy, because we got to make it like the crushed velvet sort of look. And if you look at crushed velvet, it's sort of random. It's not really smooth in areas. Sometimes it's pressed down in different areas, but nice in other areas. And so what we're going to do now, if we do that cross hatching, is we're going to kind of go this way a little bit with it. Kind of get a good textury randomness going with it. And then go back and get the other larger tool and just sort of start pressing this down. And you don't have to be precise. And if you don't like it, you could just smooth it back out again and start over again. I've redone the cloak piece many times. So now go and start sort of just smoothing it in areas and mat that textury clay down a little bit. Sort of get those streaks to press in a little bit. It's alright if there's a few left. So now what we have here is this more of a crushed velvet style. And you know, from far away, someone's gonna go, well, you know, it just sort of looks like a cloak to me. It's just simple. No one's really gonna ever notice sort of some of these finer details. But when you cast this statue, these fine details are really gonna show up. It's not gonna be some smooth, very smoothed out cloak. I don't believe you want that. If you're dealing with maybe some sort of fabric that is like a cotton or satin, sure, you want to kind of keep it smooth, and if you choose to paint it after it's cast, sure, it'll look smooth. But this is more of a rough, crushed velvet style. And as you could see here, I think I left the top of the cloak here, her hood, done with the crushed velvet effect as well. Be ready for another video here where I will go in and sort of finely detail some of the skeletal finger aspects.